Good Wednesday evening. I'm NTV Chief Meteorologist Eddie Shear. Just wanted to give you a weather overview as to what we can expect tonight and especially tomorrow with the incoming Hurricane Chris, or by the time it gets here, post-Tropical Storm Chris. So ahead of this, Environment Canada has issued rainfall warnings for the Avalon Southwest, Avalon North, and adjacent areas of eastern Newfoundland, including Canagra, where upwards of 70 millimeters of rain may fall between tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Eastern half of the Avalon, St. John's, Avalon Southeast, not under a rainfall warning, but some significant rain is going to be possible there. But we are going to see some strong winds on the Avalon Southeast, which is why there's a wind warning there. Areas like Cape Race and Cape Pine around Trepassey Bay may see winds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour for a time tomorrow night. Southern shore of the Avalon and the Avalon Northeast may also see winds gusting as high as that as well. Avalon Northeast meaning St. John's and vicinity. Off from this tropical storm, or now Hurricane Chris, I should say, well offshore of the east coast of the U.S., approaching the Maritimes right now, taking a closer look. Still a pretty healthy looking storm, clear eye right there. Category 1, winds 150, gusting 185, moving northeast of 40, so accelerating. And it's going to make a pass near or over the Avalon Peninsula as we go into tomorrow evening. It looks like between 8 and 10 p.m. With that will come some wind, but most of the highest winds remain offshore, or I should say the highest winds remain offshore, some rain, and some high seas. So we'll talk about that all now coming up. So here's the forecast track, again near or over the Avalon Peninsula tomorrow evening. By 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, it's south of Cape Race as a post-tropical storm, or a strong low that does not any longer have tropical characteristics, but it still has with it rain and wind and high seas, passing over the Avalon tomorrow night, and by Friday morning early, it is past Newfoundland, and the weather is drastically improving, as it's going to be moving very quickly by the time it moves through our neck of the woods. Again, the path the storm takes could be anywhere over the Avalon Peninsula or offshore, but in my opinion, looks like it may be right over Placentia Bay. So here is the wind tracker. Strongest winds tomorrow afternoon, still well south of Newfoundland. And as we go into the forecast here, 3 o'clock, nothing to worry about. As after 4 or 5, those winds begin to ramp up, and by 8 o'clock in the evening, highest winds along the southern part of the Avalon Peninsula into Placentia Bay, Trepassey Bay, St. Mary's Bay, gusting close to 90. By 10 o'clock tomorrow evening, areas of the eastern Avalon, St. John's, Fairland, Cape Race, St. Shots, Branch, St. Mary's, seeing winds gusting between 70 and 100 kilometers per hour. If there is an area that's going to see brief winds over 100, that will be right around Cape Race and Cape Pine. Highest winds begin to move offshore tomorrow night, as we can see, and by 5, 6 o'clock Friday morning, the weather is much calmer. Highest rainfall amounts going to be from the Bonavista Peninsula through Clarenville to the Burin Peninsula, 40 to 70 millimeters there. On the Avalon, looking like 20 to 50, and once we get west of, let's say, Eastport, Terra Nova, and Canagra, rainfall amounts drop off pretty quickly. The impacts from this, again, the winds, highest on the southeast Avalon, the rain tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night, highest going to be just to the west of the Avalon, and high waves in Placentia, St. Mary's, Trepassey Bays, and the southern shore, as high as 7 meters in spots. So if you have interest along the coast, certainly keep that in mind. There's also the risk of a storm surge tomorrow with high tide as well, so a higher than normal tide is going to be possible. So here's Futurecast. We'll time this out for us hour by hour. Tomorrow morning, storm still well south of us, almost parallel to Nova Scotia. By lunchtime tomorrow, some of the outer bands from what's left of Chris begin to make their way onto the southern part of Newfoundland, but the heaviest rain reserved for tomorrow afternoon, working its way through northeastern Newfoundland, south coast, Burin Peninsula at risk of thunderstorms as well. And then once we get into 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, the heaviest rain will be across northeastern Newfoundland, with the circulation possibly moving right over the Avalon, so winds will drop off as that happens, but the highest winds are going to be to the east of the low, remaining offshore out toward the Grand Banks, and then by Friday morning, most of what we see is gone. So far as temperatures go tonight, we're looking at teens across the eastern part of the island. Tomorrow, calm in the morning, winds and rain ramping up in the afternoon and the evening, and the winds ramp down tomorrow night after midnight as the storm passes. Into the western half of Newfoundland, temperatures in the teens and single numbers overnight for tomorrow. That rain possibly to the east of Grand Falls, Windsor. Grand Falls, you may see a bit of rain tomorrow. Same thing as we get toward Twillingate, and the south coast will also see some rain, but once we get kind of west of Burgeo, it should be a pretty decent day. And then into Labrador tonight, quiet weather, a few showers around Goose Bay, and then for the day tomorrow, temperatures in the teens across the big land under mostly sunny skies. So once we get through tomorrow, the weather's looking pretty good for most areas as we go into the weekend. Hope you found this informative. Going on about 5 minutes now, so I'm going to stop. More updates coming as needed as we go through our day on Thursday. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.